I am a big fan of Shure headphones. I used the SRH 440s for years in college until upgrading to the SRH 840s over 7 years ago. Those are still my go-to cans. I also have a pair of Shure's 1540s and use those a lot for more critical listening. So when I found out that Shure offers a pair of wireless Bluetooth headphones with active noise canceling built in, I was intrigued. Could these practical, everyday wireless headphones be the perfect cross between style, functionality, and the pro audio sound quality that Shure is known for? Let's find out. Quick disclaimer, this video is not sponsored. I did go out and buy these headphones from Sweetwater with my own money. However, I did have 2 reasons why I wanted to buy these headphones and do this review. Number 1, I've actually had a few people ask me about these specific headphones, and since I've never used them, never been in a room with them, I thought it'd be a good idea to buy a pair, try them out, and do this review. The second reason is that I actually bought these headphones with a special sneaky giveaway in mind, because you know I love giveaways. So watch till the end if you want a little Easter egg on how that's going down. Let's get these opened up and see what's inside. Now I'm liking the packaging so far. The first thing you see when you open the box on the left-hand side is the QR code to download the app that works with these headphones. You're gonna be able to unlock a lot of functionality and features with that app. We'll talk more about that in a moment. You're gonna see a quick little diagram of the headphones as well as all the button controls laid out right there so you can get started using the headphones right away. If that diagram's not enough, the first thing on top of the box here is a quick start guide. So you're gonna go ahead and grab that and we'll toss that aside for now. So under the quick start guide is the super nice faux leather hard case. I'm a big fan of this. You know, I feel super confident throwing this in my backpack, throwing it in my luggage, and I can rest easy knowing that the headphones aren't gonna get banged around, bruised, or broken amongst all the other stuff in the bag. So we'll go ahead and open up the case, and inside you'll see the headphones, a USB-C to USB charging cable, as well as a 3.5mm aux style headphone cable, which allows you to use the headphones wired if your device doesn't support Bluetooth or if it's just your preference. There's also a nifty little card which shows you how to fold up the headphones and put them back in the case. I will say the case is a little particular and you do want to follow those instructions, otherwise you're going to have a hard time getting them to fit. There's kind of one way and one way only that they go in the case. Although it does take a little getting used to, it's not the worst thing in the world because once they are in there, they are really snug. Now, one thing that is not included with these headphones that I usually like to see, especially with headphones in this price range, is an extra set of ear cups. These ear cups seem like they're pretty solid, but as most of us have seen, one of the first things to wear out on headphones if they don't actually break is the ear cup that fake leather tends to wear, especially when it's up against your skin. If you're sweating, there's a lot of oils in your skin that can kind of degrade and break down that material. So it would have been nice to see an extra set. I don't know if there's any available online if you did need to buy a replacement, but for now, that one set is all we've got. Now, real quick, we'll go over a couple features of the headphones. They are 40mm drivers, so it's a nice, decent sized driver. The frequency response is rated at 20 to 20,000 hertz. Now, that's the range of human hearing. Nothing to be surprised about there. My guess is it's probably a little less on either end of the spectrum, but they're claiming 20 to 20,000. Now, from what I can tell, these headphones support all of the standard codecs available right now, including aptX, aptX HD, SBC, and AAC. There is an auto power off function, which is pretty neat, and you can actually set the duration in the included app, which we'll talk about in a moment. These headphones do feature Bluetooth 5, so in all of my testing, I really didn't have to worry about any range issues, any signal dropouts, or any lag when watching a video, working on music, or playing video games. Now I want to talk a little bit about the build quality of these headphones. Now, I haven't used a whole lot of wireless Bluetooth noise canceling headphones before, so my reference point and my comparison will be mostly to that of my studio headphones. I have my SRH 840s from Shure, as well as my Audio Technica ATH M50s, and we'll try to compare a little bit to these at least. They definitely feel sturdy. There's some good flexibility. I don't want to crank on them too hard, but there is a solid metal band on the inside, and this seems to be plastic, but the ear cups feel nice and solid, and I'm not too worried about that. I do think that you would have a hard time breaking the band, but I don't really want to try. Now, as far as the weight is concerned, they are still pretty light. They come in at about 313 grams, or about 11 ounces here in the US. So they're not a heavy pair of headphones by any means. You're not going to worry about any head or ear fatigue while wearing these. The ear cups are a faux leather, which is pretty standard. There's a little bit of padding on the inner ear, which is nice to increase that comfort. The top of the band has a little silicone rubber pad, which, you know what, I think is kind of a nice touch, because this is one of the areas that I see wear the fastest on some of my other headphones. If it is cloth or a fake leather, it does seem to start wearing and ripping. As you can see on my 840s, that's beginning to happen. So having that made of silicone might actually increase the working life of these headphones, as well as make them a little easier to clean and maintain. I will say there is a good degree of movement and flexibility. So depending on the size of your head, they should be pretty comfortable. They do open up quite a bit. They rotate 90 degrees and they fold in for easy storage. So, but all things considered, especially since you have the carrying case, if you store them well, even if you folded them up like this and threw them in your bag, I don't think you're gonna have a problem keeping these in good working order for the long run. I think they're pretty well built. So we'll go ahead and try these on and see how they fit. Right off the bat, I might have to open this up just a little bit, but all in all, I'm getting a good seal around my ears. On the top, on the bottom, I feel a nice even pressure. I'm pretty happy with that. They do feel pretty light. They're not clamping my ears down. My ears fit nicely inside the ear cups, and the band at the top doesn't feel like it's digging into my head. As far as the weight, pretty light. I mean, 11 ounces really isn't that bad. I do like the smaller form factor, you know, compared to some of my studio headphones, which are a little bit bigger. These ones aren't so bad, but my SRH 840s, which are like my favorite headphones ever, these ones do get a little bit big, and you know, just wearing them around when I'm not in the studio, I do kind of feel a little bit weird, like, you know, oh, who's the spaceman walking around with a huge headset? But these seem great. The form factor's slim. I don't feel like they're bigger than they need to be, but I also feel like they're big enough that they're not uncomfortable. The pressure on my head is pretty good. I don't feel like they're gonna fall off. You know, if I shake my head around, they're not really going anywhere. There's a little bit of movement, but that's to be expected. You don't want them to be literally crushing your head, so feel good about that. Now, they are made of plastic, and they do have a bit of a plasticky feel, but it's definitely a more solid, smooth plastic feel than something like even my 840s, which, you know, they're not really known for their build quality, more so the sound quality. These definitely feel quite plasticky. So I'm pretty happy with these. So I do want to talk a little bit about the sound quality. As a home studio music maker and an audio professional myself, sound quality is pretty much paramount. If I were to use headphones like this in public spaces, I'd probably be using them for some kind of audio editing, maybe not mixing or anything critical like that, but at least audio editing, vocal editing. And so you want a pair of headphones that's going to be accurate. I feel like these headphones sound really good. The bass is not over exaggerated, but it is there. So that's a nice thing. I'm always a little more hesitant when it comes to consumer focused headphones, because I feel like usually people just want more bass, and you end up with headphones that are super muddy in the low mids, or they vibrate like crazy, and that's not really what we're looking for if we want something that we can use to enjoy music, but also that has that Shure name branded on it. Now, I've never really used a pair of headphones before that had active noise canceling built in. So when I first put these on and had some of my friends and family members talk while I was wearing them, I was immediately blown away at how well it canceled the noise around me without it actually seeming like any kind of active noise canceling was going on. If you're in an environment where the noise floor is a little bit higher than you want it to, or you need to focus on what you're doing, they do a really great job. It honestly wasn't until I took them off that I realized just how good they were at masking out the ambient noise, whether it be the voices around me, a hum from an air conditioner or furnace or other appliances, or just the chatter of everyday life. There are 3 different noise canceling modes, which are switchable via a button on the headphones as well as in the app. The first one is just your regular active noise canceling, which does its best to suppress all of the noise around you so you only hear what's coming through the headphones. The second option is environment mode, which is pretty cool, and I was pretty excited when I turned that on. What it does is it basically allows voices and other noise around you to come through as if you weren't even wearing the headphones, which might be the complete opposite of what you're trying to achieve with noise canceling headphones. But if you're walking on a busy street or you're trying to have a conversation with someone, switching it to environment mode is a nice way to be aware of your surroundings while still hearing what's going on in your music or whatever you're listening to. The third option is active noise canceling off, which just gives you your basic over-the-ear headphone experience, or you're just trying to save some battery life, you can switch that off and go about your day. Now, the headphones do have microphones built in, which is part of how the active noise canceling system works, which means you can use them for phone calls, video calls, and all of that. Now, I decided I would use them as the input source for my iPhone for a quick little video demo, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you the sound of that now. So I went ahead and switched over to the built-in microphone on the Aonic 40 headphones. If you're doing a video call or just a phone call while using these headphones, this is what the person on the other end is going to hear. It's not the craziest sound quality in the world, but I'd compare it to something like speakerphone on your iPhone. I think that it's more than good enough if you're on the go, you're working, and you need to answer a call. I don't think you have to switch to another microphone input device. One thing I did notice, which may not make a big difference for you, is that there are microphones on both sides of the headphone. However, for the call, it is using the right side. You can see if I tap here versus I tap here, this is the side that's actually picking up my voice when I'm using it for a call. So maybe that doesn't make a difference for you, but that's what I noticed. Let's talk a little bit about the battery life. Shure claims that these headphones will last for 25 hours, even with the noise canceling active between each charge. I would say that's some pretty good battery life and is comparable to other offerings on the market. The other positive is that when you do need to recharge the headphones, from my experience, it seemed like they got to fully charged in about 2 to 3 hours max, depending on what they were at when you plug them in. So throwing them on the charger is pretty easy. It does come with the standard USB to USB-C cable, so you've probably already got a bunch of those lying around as it is. So if you need to head out that day or you know you're gonna use them, you probably already have a charger with you, or you can just throw them on the charger before you leave, and in an hour, you'd probably be at 50% at least, which would get you through the day. Now, I think one of the major selling points of these headphones in regard to sound quality is the included free app. If you're an audio nerd like me, it gives you full control over the frequency range of the headphones through presets. You can change the noise canceling mode, and you can basically change the entire EQ curve of the headphones, which I think is super cool. All right, so we'll take a quick look at the Shure Plus Play app. I've got it pulled up on my iPhone 13, and we'll go through a couple of the features that work with the Aonic 40. So the first thing you can see here is we can change our noise control mode from active noise canceling to none, or to our environment mode. We do have the ability to change the active noise canceling level between light, medium, and max. We'll leave it at max for now. We can set it to none if you want to treat it more like a traditional pair of over-the-ear headphones, or if you're worried about saving battery life. And there's the environment mode, which again allows you to hear what's going on around you while still hearing your music. And you can change the level there as well. Beyond that, we can personalize the button controls, change what each button does on the headphone. You can also change the USB audio mode if you want to use them via USB. And then you have the option to set it so that they'll only charge when off, or anytime you plug them into a power source. You also have the option to change how long it waits to power off when it disconnected. You can go anywhere from 10 minutes to never if you wanted to. Now, they do have this feature called a busy light, which I don't know that it's actually practical or worth using, but basically with this on, a red light will illuminate on the headphones anytime you're on a call, allowing other people to know that you're on a call, which, unless they're familiar with those specific headphones, they're probably just gonna look at you and think either it's a power light or it's a low battery light, and they'll probably interrupt you anyways. And then beyond that, there's some quick start videos, a user guide, and the ability to reset the headphones if you want to return them to the default settings. The next page is the equalizer setting, which as a pro audio guy, this is pretty cool for me. There's a bunch of different presets that allow you to change the overall frequency curve of the headphones, including a bass boost, bass cut, treble boost, etc. And you have the option to add your own preset if you have a certain setting that you want to return to. Now, the manual tab is where things get really cool for us audio nerds. You can actually go ahead and use this equalizer to completely alter the frequency or EQ curve of these headphones. So it's a 4-band graphic EQ. You can change the frequency, the gain, or the bandwidth, which for us audio guys, that's usually called the Q. Once you go ahead and manually modify the EQ curve, you can go ahead and save it as a preset. change the name, hit save, and then under presets, you'll be able to pull that up whenever you want. I like how you can see in the little icon what that curve actually looks like. So if you don't remember what you named it, you can glance at that and have a good idea of what it's gonna sound like. Now there is a music app built into this app, which actually allows you to import songs into this app and play them from this app. From what I've heard, it's pretty limiting and it doesn't really work super well. Maybe integration will be improved at a later date, but for now, I'm a big Spotify user, so I'll just stick with that. And beyond that, there's various settings, information about your device, as well as firmware updates, which can be done via Bluetooth through the app. Now on to my favorite part, the giveaway. But first, we're gonna box them up real nice, and maybe even throw some wrapping paper on there to make them look nice and fancy. All right, so I bought these headphones with someone special in mind. A while back, I heard my girlfriend say that she wanted a nice pair of noise-canceling headphones so she could work on her design homework while in the often noisy public spaces of her university. She loves music, so making sure she got a professional quality pair of active noise-canceling headphones was a must. Since people have asked about these specific models, and I'm a big fan of Shure products, I decided I would buy these headphones, make a review, post it for all of you, and then give them to her. Since knowing her, she probably wouldn't justify buying something like this for herself, at least for a while. Now, before I uploaded this video, I went and hid those headphones in her apartment so that they'd be there waiting for her right now, when this video premiered. Now, my girlfriend says she watches all of my videos, so I guess this is a good time to test if that's true or not. If you're watching, you'll find them here. No, seriously, if you don't believe me, you should go check. Wouldn't it be funny if she waited a couple months before watching this video, and then the whole time the headphones are just sitting there collecting dust? Oof. Well, for everybody else, if wireless Bluetooth headphones are not for you, check out this video featuring what I think are the best studio quality wired headphones available on the market today. Peace.